Good morning, you guys. I know that this is a little bit dark, but it's going to be lighter hopefully when I'm doing the chocolate cake over there. I wanted to show everybody how to make this chocolate cake because firstly it's so far away from everything else I normally do on here. If I ever do cooking or baking or whatever on this channel, it's normally like no bake cookies. It's always healthy stuff. It's showing you how to make healthy stuff. I don't think I've ever done anything that like today where I'm like, this is not good for you. This is like heart attack in a cake, but this is not something I make other than for special occasions. So I will make this for birthdays, and like I used to make it at work if there was somebody who was leaving or something. I'd bring them in because they'd always be requested to make these cakes. They are like death by chocolate. If you like chocolate, you will love these, and even people that don't like chocolate seem to love these. So I'm making them because it's my friend's birthday, and so I'm going to pop the cakes over to her later. And like I said, it's not good for you only because it's got proper dark chocolate in it and it's got butter in it. Those are the kind of components that don't eat a whole cake, don't eat too many of the little cakes. But the things that I would say make this cake are use slightly salted butter and use really good chocolate, so 70% dark chocolate. And I find the best one is the patissier chocolate that you get from supermarkets, but the green and blacks is just as good as well. So just any really good chocolate, and everything else can be kind of cheap as chips. So you can just get, you know, one of those block of butters. That doesn't matter. It seems to be if you buy good chocolate, it kind of makes the cake. So if you'd like to know how to make them, then come with me. So I will list everything below. Don't worry, I'll list all the ingredients below, but let me just tell you exactly what we've got ingredients wise. So in here, this is just a saucepan, and there is, let me look at my ingredients list, 250 grams of butter, 200 grams of dark chocolate, which is normally 2 bars of chocolate, but have a look at how many grams there are because they're all different sizes obviously. And I've just broken it up into little pieces. And then there is 250 milliliters of water. So you put that all in a saucepan. Here I've got 280 grams of caster sugar, another part of the recipe that isn't that great for you. 65 milliliters of Baileys. If you don't have the Baileys, don't worry. You can just miss that out, or you can put milk in here just to make up the liquid of it. What I've done before is put milk in and a tiny little bit of whiskey because that's part of what Baileys is, you know. But I've done it without the Baileys and it tastes just as nice. And then I've got 2 lightly beaten eggs. And then here there is 200 grams of flour, 30 grams of cocoa and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So that's all kind of sitting ready. And then I've just got 1 large bowl which I'm going to put that chocolate and butter mix into once it's melted. This is the chocolate that I use, chocolate patissier. The really nice thing about this recipe is you can make it as one big cake and then decorate it, which is like what I do for birthdays, or you can make it into little cupcakes. You just need to reduce the cooking time. So I might make 2 today. I've bought these, they are disposable cake tins because I'm always looking for something that I can bake people a cake and give them it and not have to worry about getting, you know, your cake tin back. And so we'll see how it goes. I'll use one of these. I'll maybe do 2 of these and see what it's like because they're going to be quite thin, but that's okay. And then if I've got mixture left, I'll do some cuts. So the first thing to do is just to melt all of this. So I'm just going to turn on the hob and just melt all of this. It's a really, really simple recipe to make as well. I should have said that in the beginning video. It's just so simple, and that's what I love about it. It is really delicious. It's unlike any other chocolate cake you've tasted. I promise you it's nothing like a normal chocolate cake because of the real chocolate in it that then, you know, re-solidifies. It just tastes so yummy, but it's really, really easy to make. It's just a case of you melt this and then you add everything in and mix it together. It's not one of these, you know, you don't have to whisk the eggs and crumble in butter or anything like that. It really is just melt it and stir it. I'm going to heat the oven up while we're waiting for this to melt. I've put the oven on at 140 degrees Celsius just so that that's nice and ready when we're ready. You don't have to even stir this. I really like stirring things. Okay, so what you're left with is this beautiful chocolate sauce, and I'm just going to pour it into this plastic bowl carefully, making sure to get all the chocolate from the bottom. And it does recommend that you leave it for a few minutes after it's been melted, but I have only done that the first time and I tried it without doing that and it's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to add in all of the sugar and Baileys. And give that a mix. I like to give this a mix before adding in the eggs because it kind of cools it down a bit and you don't want cooked eggs. Okay, then I'm going to add in the eggs. And then I'm going to add in the flour and cocoa powder, etc. So you want this mixture nice and smooth and combined, so I'm just going to whisk it. I'm just using a hand whisk. Okay, so I've got my cases here. That's the mixture done. I'm just going to spoon some into it. Probably pour it in. The other thing you can do at this stage is you can leave this mixture with a tea towel over it to thicken up. But again, it's not an essential stage. But it will thicken up a lot if you do that. And it just kind of makes it a bit easier to get into the cases. I could pour it, but that would be a bit messy, messier still. Could do with a bigger spoon though, couldn't I? I suppose because I'm normally doing little individual cakes, or I'm normally doing it in a big proper baking tin with a paper case in it, because I'm not giving it to anybody. You know, if they're having it here, then I would just pour it in. Just gonna wait until it's kind of halfway up, I think. Maybe a little bit less than halfway, because it does rise quite a bit. And then, you know what, I am going to pour it into this other one and see how we get on. Okay, they don't both fit quite onto this baking tray. Need a bigger baking tray. This is a very old baking tray, so excuse the state of it. That's better. Baking trays don't stay looking pristine for very long, do they? So that's those done, and there's still lots of mixture left, so I'm going to make some cupcakes. And the great thing about that is, if the cake doesn't turn out, I've got cupcakes to give them. Not there's any reason for the cupcake not to turn out, but for the cake not to turn out even. So I'm just going to put about 2 spoonfuls into each case, and this is small cupcake cases. They're more like fairy cakes. So the oven is heated up, so I am going to stick these 2 cakes in for, let me see, what does it say? It says for 30 minutes, so I'll stick them in for 30 minutes at 140 and see how we go. But I'll do the timings exactly and put it in the description. Okay, so that's the cakes out of the oven, and they've only been in 20 minutes at 140. Actually, let me just check, it is 140. No, it's actually it was higher than that, it was 180. 20 minutes, and I'll just test it with my knife, and you can see it's coming out clean. So they are ready. So I'm just going to leave those to cool. These are the cupcakes, and they were in for, what were they in for? About 15 minutes. So the cupcakes are done, as you can see, but what I like to do is just do a little sprinkle of, this is twist and sprinkle of icing sugar, and it just kind of makes them look a bit more finished, because I don't want to put any toppings on the little cakes. None of it needs a topping really, but obviously because it's somebody's birthday, I don't want to just do a chocolate cake. That's what they look like, and they taste absolutely delicious. And like I said, they don't actually need a topping, but I want to do something for the birthday cake, so I'm going to put some of this chocolate fudge icing on the other cake once it's completely cooled down. And then I've got some little wafer daisies, and I've got some chocolate sprinkles and some marshmallows. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put on it yet. I'll wait until it's cooled down. Okay, so for this cake, I'm just going to decorate it, and I'm going to start off by using this Betty Crocker chocolate fudge icing. I generally don't make my own icing, just because I think this tastes beautiful. And like I said, I don't feel like it necessarily needs icing. It's just that it gives something to stick things to, you know, and because it's a birthday treat, and it certainly doesn't spoil the taste because it's delicious. So I'm just using a knife to spread it on, and it doesn't have to be too neat because I'm going to put things on top of it, and I don't want there to be too much. Like I said, it's just really something to stick things to. it on and then just sort of smooth it out with a knife. Don't lick the knife, Karen, don't lick the knife. I might lick the knife. I'm not going to put marshmallows on, I'm actually just going to put, these are just Asda chocolate flakes. I'm just going to put some of those on and maybe a couple of daisies in the middle. These are just paper daisies. I'm just going to put, two, yeah, I'll put two in the middle like that. I've got another cake if I don't like this, if I decide I don't like the look of this. I'm just realising I need a bit more icing at the edge here. Just to finish it off, I'm going to use a bit of this ice and sugar again over the top. I just think it makes it sort of finishes it off nicely and makes it look pretty. And there you have the birthday cake. So I hope that she enjoys it. I don't know how I'm going to leave it for. I think I'll put some cling film over it or something like that because I don't have a box, that's the only thing. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to collect the neighbour's dog at 6 o'clock and they're going out to dinner. It's her birthday dinner, so I'm going to leave it in there for them. I've just wrapped some cling film over the top and I know that they enjoyed it because I made cupcakes for her partner's birthday a couple of months ago, so I know that they both love the chocolate cake, so they should enjoy it. The only kind of delay with things like that is waiting until the cake cools to put the icing on, because it's now 11:30 and I started making the cakes at, I think it was about 9:30, but overall that's 2 hours. It's not too bad, and in between that I've washed and dried my hair, I've done some ironing, you know, I've done bits and pieces whilst waiting for it to cool. There's not really much to it. So let me know if you make them and enjoy them. Send me pictures on Instagram and whatnot, and have a nice day. See you later.